this, I wanted to go into the recording so that future generations will be able to hear what I'm saying here tonight. He began shouting at her, "We don't want any woman in this masjid. Out!" The woman continued with her salah, did not stop. And the man continued shouting like a donkey. When the woman finished her salah, she got up very quietly and peacefully to leave, without speaking a word, without protesting. Even when the woman was leaving peacefully, the man shouted at her as though she was a dog. Because that Jamaat wants to put women in one world and men in another. If you have to address a class, and there are women in the class, and you're a man, they put up a parda, a screen. So he behind the parda and them behind the parda. And they only hear his voice. It's a dangerous Jamaat. The danger is they put men and women in two separate worlds. But day and night do not belong to two separate worlds. They are interdependent. And yet functionally different. When the day performs the function of the day, and the night performs the functions of the night, then there is attraction between the two. And this is why we mentioned today in the khutbah, the best row for the men is the first, and the dangerous row for the men is the last, and the best row for the woman is the last, and the dangerous row for the woman is the first. Why the danger? Because of the attraction. We do not want to eliminate that attraction. We want to control it within the limits prescribed by Allah. Why? Because the attraction of the male for the female is like the attraction of the day for the night. It is a part of the splendor of life. It is a part of the joy of living. It is a part of the sunshine of life. Notice when the day is coming to an end and is approaching the night. Look up in the sky and you'll see it. The painted sunset with a riot of colors. Is it by accident? What message is being delivered every sunset? It never fails to happen. The message is that there is excitement as the day is approaching the night. Why is Imran spending so much time on this subject? You know now. Oh yes, you will know it now. Because if you disturb this, if you disturb this intense attraction for each other, if you build an adversarial relationship where they're competing with each other now, and they're rivals to each other, and if the night now attempts to become day, then the attraction will begin to wane. And when the day is no longer attracted to the night, the day will now mate with the day, and the night will mate with the night. And that is the destruction, the final, utter, complete, stinking destruction of society. And that's where we are now. This is why I spend so much time on the attraction. And this is why I'm so tremendously worried about that Jamaat spreading all over the world. Look, you can get visas to go to the moon. Washington will give them visas to go to the moon if they want to go. Which keep men and women in two separate worlds. I joined a Jamaat in Pakistan 1997, led by a formidable scholar, Dr. Israr Ahmad. Sheikh Ali Mustafa also joined that Jamaat. And I benefited a lot. As a consequence of my joining the Tanzim Islami, I was able to get the concept of the Muslim village, about the Jama'ah, the Amir, and as-sam'u wa ta'atu, listening and obeying, and enforcing the deen, iqamatul deen. And all of these are now going to be established, inshallah, when we build the Muslim village. But when I entered into that Jamaat, I found, to my amazement, because I had come from a Sufi background, I found in that Jamaat the philosophy of gender, that men and women belong to two separate worlds. And I couldn't swallow that. I couldn't tolerate it. I could not accept it. If you tamper with that intense attraction of the male and female to each other, then eventually you open a door which would culminate with the male being attracted to the male and the female being attracted to the female. And homosexuality and lesbianism will spread like wildfire. One of the biggest parades in Manhattan today, attracting about 1 million people, with all the big political figures have to be there in it. You cannot be on the who is who unless you are part of that parade. It's called the Gay and Lesbian Rights Day Parade. And in that parade they flaunt their sexual perversity and they flaunt their nakedness, dancing on the streets 90% naked. And so in order for marriage to be successful in Islam and to reach its culmination where the two hearts are bonded together, in order for the dynamics to be pursued successfully, the mechanics have to be instituted. That he, the male, has his functions, and she, the female, has her functions. Among her functions that Allah has equipped her to perform is to be the medium through which babies are born. When should she marry? We know when a man should marry, not his own sweet will. From the time he has the means to be able to maintain, Allah has placed an obligation on him to marry. But when should she marry? Well, there is no compulsion on a woman. No one can force her to marry against her will. So she can marry whenever she consents to marriage. But what advice is given to her from above? Two instances I ask our sisters to ponder over, because I know this part of the lecture is going to be controversial. Oh yes, there are going to be so many who will disagree with me. Why you want the daughter to marry? Let the girl grow up now. She's still young. Oh, okay. Let's see what message we got from above. Two events, neither of which happened by accident. In choosing the age at which a girl is advised to marry, advised, not compelled.